Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Erica L. Clymer and I'm a children's book illustrator and an author too. Today I'm excited to show you how to draw a turkey from my book Finn's Fun Farm Adventure. All you're going to need is a piece of paper and a pencil, so let's draw. So let's start out by lightly drawing a circle towards the center of our page. I'm just going to draw very lightly till I get the shape that I want, and then kind of darken as I see the right shape. Okay, so I'm just going to erase a couple of these extra lines for now. I'll clean this up more later. So kind of putting some lines down just helps me see where it may need to come out a little bit more, or where the circle may need to go in. Okay, now for the head, we're going to draw an oval just above this circle, but right on the center line. So right about here, we'll draw an oval. And again, I'm just kind of lightly going around till I get that shape that I want. And then I'll erase a little bit of those lines. Okay, and now let's connect the head to the body. To do that, we're just going to draw a curved line from the oval to the circle. And we'll bring it in like that. And then we'll do the same thing mirrored on the other side. So we'll just curve in and then bring those lines into the oval. Okay, so now I'll just erase all these extra lines. I'm also going to erase the line of the oval in between the lines that we just drew. We no longer need that line. And then we also no longer need the top of this circle here in between those lines. Okay, so now we have the basic shape of our turkey. Just gonna clean this up a little bit. We'll clean it up more at the end. And let's add the wings. So for the wings, I'm gonna start at the top left here. I'm just gonna bring a curve out like this, out and down. I'm going to draw that kind of lightly because we're going to go over this to give the wings some more detail. And I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom of the circle, just about. And I'm going to bring a curved line up and in towards the body. Okay, and then I'll do the same thing on the other side but mirrored. So I'm going to bring this curved line to the right and down. And then I'll bring a curved line up and over into the body. Okay, now I'm just gonna look at these and see if they're symmetrical. And I see this one looks a little bit bigger, so I'm just gonna bring this one out a little bit more, just to get them as close in size and shape as possible. Okay, so that's pretty good. So I'm just gonna erase these extra lines. I'm also gonna erase this part of the circle in between the wings. We don't need that anymore. So we can get rid of it. Okay. And now I'm going to add some detail to the wings. So for that, I'm just going to follow these curves that we just drew. And I'm going to bring a curve out a bit and then a straight line back in. And I'll do that again all the way around. So we're just giving these wings kind of like this feather shape, adding a little bit more detail. Again, we're just curving up and then a straight line back in. And we're just following that line we drew as a guide. And we'll do that all the way around. And we'll do that on both sides. Okay, so now I'm gonna actually go and erase that first curved line we drew for the wings. We don't need that. That was just to help guide us on where to draw the detailed lines. So I'll just go around, get rid of that a bit for now. Again, we can do more cleanup towards the end. Okay, and then let's work on the legs. So I'm gonna draw a little vertical line right in the center of that circle there. That's just gonna help guide me on where to put the legs. So let's start with the right one. So just to the right of that guide I just drew, I'm gonna draw a pretty straight line right down. And then a little bit to the right of that, I'm gonna draw an angled line coming in towards that, like that. And then I'm gonna connect these with a little bit of a curved line. And then for the bottom of the leg, I'm gonna draw a straight line, a little bit inset from that shape, straight line down. And then I'll draw another straight line, kind of angled inward a bit. So these two lines will converge a little bit. It'll be shorter here than it is up here. And for the feet, I'm gonna draw 4 triangular lines. So I'll draw one to the left here, kind of coming out this way. I'll draw another one kind of pointed bottom left. Another one towards the bottom right. And then another one towards the right there. I'm actually going to bring this one out a little bit more. That one's a little bit smaller than the others. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is just erase the points of all those 4 triangles. And I just want to soften it up. And I'm just going to add a little bit of a round to the ends of those. Just don't want that harsh pointed line, so I'm just going to add a little bit of a curve. Okay, and now we're going to do exactly the same thing mirrored on the left side. So to the left of that center line, we'll draw our straight line down, and then we'll draw that angled line inward there, and then we'll connect those with a little bit of a curved line. Okay, and then the bottom of the leg again, we'll draw a straight line inset from that shape. We'll draw our angled line down, and then we'll do our 4 triangles again for the feet. So one triangle towards the left, another towards the bottom left, bottom right, and then the last one towards the right. And I'll just add the little curve there to soften those up. And there we go. All right, so the legs and feet are done. I'm gonna erase that little center line, and then I'm just gonna darken that circle up a little bit too. Okay, so then let's move on to the face. So to help with the facial features, I'm just gonna draw a vertical center line through that oval that we drew in the beginning. And then I'll draw another one about halfway through that oval as well, horizontally. Okay, and then we're gonna start with the beak. So right at the point where these two meet, I'm gonna draw a curved line coming down and to the left. And then I'm gonna mirror that same thing on the right side. Okay, and then I'm gonna connect these 2 lines with a curve down here. So this is gonna be his beak. I'm trying to make it symmetrical on both sides. Okay, and then we'll add his mouth just below that. So we're going to bring a curved line down towards that center line. And then we'll mirror that on the other side and come up into the beak. Okay, and then just inset from this curve we just drew, we're going to draw the same curve. So I'll start right here and just follow that curve, but I'm coming in a little bit and then going up towards the beak. Okay, so now I'm going to erase that center line that's in between the beak and the mouth. And then I'm going to add two little curves for his tongue right in the middle here. So I'll draw a curved line there. And then another curved line up towards that one we just drew. And then I'm going to draw two teardrop shapes right at the top of his beak here. So one a little bit to the left. I'm just going to fill that in. It's just like an angled teardrop shape. And I'll do another one towards the right. Okay, so there's his beak and his mouth. Now let's add the eyes. So for the eyes, I'm going to draw an oval. I'm going to start with the right one, so to the right of this center line. It's going to be at a very slight angle and it's going to overlap the head a little bit. So it's just going to come above the head. And then I'm going to erase that line in between there. And then at the bottom of this oval, I'm going to do a little bit of a curve overlapping. And then I'm going to erase that little portion of the oval that goes below that. Okay. And then towards the top of the oval, I'm going to add another curve for the eyelid. So that'll be inside of the oval. And then towards the bottom left, I'm going to draw a small filled in oval for the pupil. Just like that. And then I'm going to go lightly around that with another oval for the rest of his eye. And then we'll draw the same thing mirrored on the other side. So I'll start with my oval. It's going to be slightly angled towards the left. And I want to try to get the same size and shape as the other one. And then I'll erase that line in between there. We'll draw our little curved line at the bottom. And then erase the little tiny section of the oval below that. And then we'll draw our curve for the eyelid. And then our filled in oval for the pupil towards the bottom. And then lightly go around that for the rest of the eye. Okay, and then I'm just going to darken around this oval here. Okay, let's see. All right, so I'm going to erase these guidelines now. We don't need those anymore. And I'm just going to refine the eye a bit. Okay, so now let's add two eyebrows, one above each eye. So for that, I'm just going to draw a curved line right above the eye, and it's going to have some thickness to it. So I'm just going to fill it in a bit. And I'll draw another curved line on the left side. right above the left eye. Okay. So now let's add his bow tie. So our turkey's wearing a bow tie. So right in the center of the neck here, I'm going to draw kind of a rounded square shape. Just like that. And then from the top right, I'm going to bring a curved line up and over. And then the bottom right, I'll do a curved line down. And then I'll connect these with a curve. So I want to bring this down a little bit more. There we go. And then I'm just going to erase that line in between there. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing mirrored on the other side. So I'll bring this curved line up and then do the same on the bottom and then connect with a curve. And we'll erase that line in between. Okay, and then I'm going to add two little curved lines right here for some detail. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, I'm just going to shape the face a little bit here. Now that the features are drawn, I can see where I want to maybe make the face a little bigger, just a tiny bit. Shape it up here a little bit. And then I'll get rid of some of these previous lines that I drew. Okay, I think that's pretty good for now. So the last thing would be the feathers. So for the feathers, I'm going to draw a big half circle around his body here. And we'll start right about the center of this first circle we drew, which is right along this line here. So I'll just draw like a dot here and then come over and draw a dot right about there. And I'm just going to bring a big half circle above his head and down and around. So right down to about there. And then at the end of these, I'm going to come in just a little bit. So I'll bring this down just a little bit. So we'll go a little bit beyond the half circle and then bring a line straight up towards the body. So we'll do a little bit of an straight angled line, just like that. Okay, so I think I want to make this come out a little bit. I'm just looking to see if these look symmetrical, if this shape is symmetrical. So let's see. I'm going to bring this out a little bit more here. I'll erase some of these extra lines. And then just shape this up a little bit more. Okay. So then let's draw the first feather. So that's going to be right above his head. So just to the left of his left eye, I'm going to draw a slightly angled line up. And I'll mirror that on the other side. So we'll draw an angled line that way there. And then I'm going to connect these with kind of a little bit of a slightly rounded line. So just like this. Okay, and then we're going to draw a bunch of feathers on each side. So just to help guide me on where the feathers should go, I'm going to just break this in half a bunch of times. So from this point to this point, I'm going to just kind of guesstimate the center of that line is right about there. I'm going to draw an angled line along that. And then between here and this line that I just drew, I'll draw another angle line, and I'm again just guesstimating where the center is, and then the same thing between here and here, so right about there. And then between each of these lines that I just drew, I'm gonna draw another line in the center. So right there, right there, right there, and right there. And we'll do the same thing mirrored on this side. So that center line is right about here. We'll go right here, and then right about there. And then again, a center line between each of these. Okay, so now I'm gonna pull all these lines down towards the body. So they're all gonna be angled a little bit different. This is almost like a fan shape. So the lines kind of converge towards the bottom here and then open up towards the ends. Okay, so now I'm just looking to see if these look all right. I'm gonna bring this one in a little bit. But other than that, I think they're pretty good. So I'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'm gonna try to match this side. So I'm trying to end these lines where these lines end on this side. So this one's right here, so I'm ending this one right there. And then this one's going just right at the start of his feathers. So I'm gonna do that for each line here. Okay, so then again, I'm gonna add this kind of rounded shape to connect each of these lines. So we'll just go around and do that for all the lines. Okay, and then I'm gonna add a little bit more detail to the feathers. So I'm gonna go around towards the bottom of the feather and draw this kind of V shape. And I'll give it some thickness, so I'll draw 2 of them. And I'm gonna go all the way around and just draw this shape on each feather. Okay, and then I'm also gonna add another stripe here. So I'm just gonna follow that half circle line a little bit inset from it, just to add a little bit of a striping to the top of the feathers here. Okay, so now we have all the elements of the turkey drawn, and I'm just gonna go and do my cleanup phase, which means I'm gonna darken all my lines and I'm gonna erase any extra lines that I may have missed. And there's our turkey drawing. I hope you enjoyed drawing along with me today. If so, I would love it if you gave this video a thumbs up, and if you want to see more how to draw videos, you can hit the subscribe button. You can also connect with me through my website, Facebook, and Instagram pages, which I'll link below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.